Travis?
Here.
Stephanie?
Here.
John?
Here.
Doug? Mayor's excused. I don't know about Nate yet. We'll see. Pledge of allegiance. Pledge allegiance
To the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Need a motion for the consent agenda.
Move to approve.
Motion. Second. All in favor?
Aye.
Public input. This is a time and place for discussion of items not already on the agenda. Anybody? Is this where Tom talks? Because is it on?
No, I think he's.
Oh, it's on there. I see it.
For the new business.
Yep, I see it. All right, moving on. Miscellaneous items. Approval and pay estimate number 1 for wastewater treatment plant improvements and UV disinfectant in the amount of $50,350.
They're moving right along on the UV project down at the sewer plant, and they're requesting their first payment.
Do we have a motion for that?
Move to approve.
Second.
Harrison, second. Travis?
Aye.
Stephanie?
Aye.
John?
Aye.
Doug, aye. Approval of purchase for cemetery directory.
We've talked about this a few times. There are different options to go with at the cemetery. And I did find, actually Christina found it in another town, and we looked into it and found the company that made it, and they do still have them, and they make them. It's a 6-sided kiosk, so we could put a directory of all the cemetery spaces, the name, and where they're buried. So when you pull up to this kiosk, you can just take a look, and it'll show you where this person is buried. So the cost to purchase them is $4,938. We did budget $5,000 this year and $5,000 next year to look at some type of directory. And I was just recommending that we go and purchase something like this. Tony Nost has been in to help with some volunteer work at the cemetery, so he would be interested in helping with the names. The guys could do the cement pad to place it into. And it is made out of metal or steel, and it looks like the prices of steel could be going up anytime soon. So we can wait and look into something else, but I just thought this was a good thing. And the other town that has it said that people use it constantly. So
I think it's a good idea.
How do you make changes in it, or additions?
we would have to redo the reprint the sheet once we make a change, so we would probably update it every 6 months, every year, or kind of like they do with the Veterans Memorial out there. They do that once a year.
This would just be printed on paper and slipped behind
the glass, yep.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, it says added optional factory installed LED lighting. Are we gonna put lighting and everything in it?
In this?
Yeah.
We could. But I imagine since our cemetery closes at a certain time, we really would need to.
10 or 10:30 it closes. And
So most people
time
would be
it'd
using
people-
it during the day.
It'd be people during the summer when the days are longer, so I don't know. What's the cost to the...
It doesn't have it in here. Did it have it in what you're looking at, Doug?
It's for the specs, on the specs.
I don't know if that's really
Oh, no,
necessary.
it didn't have it.
Oh, optional factory installed LED lighting.
They'll just use the flashlight on their cell phone if they're out there after dark.
Oh, that's true, too.
Yeah.
I mean, they will.
Yeah.
I have a motion.
I'll move to approve.
First by Travis,
Second.
second by Stephanie. All in favor?
Aye.
And we did notice while we were out there looking to, we're just kind of been looking around at our property to see what needs to be done, that all the street signs out there are really in poor shape, so we did order new street signs for the cemetery, so that'll help when we put the street. I didn't realize there was so many different streets and street names out there in the cemetery. There was like 6. I was surprised, but, so we did order new street signs, and those will be put up as soon as they come in.
Number 6A, discussion and possible third and final reading of ordinance 01-2018 water rate increase.
We've already passed the first and second, and tonight would be the third.
Move to approve.
First by John,
Second.
second by Stephanie. Travis?
Aye.
Stephanie?
Aye.
John?
Aye.
And aye. Discussion and possible third and final reading of ordinance 02-2018 sewer rate increase. Do I have a motion for that one?
So moved.
First by John,
Second.
second by Travis. Doug, aye. John?
Aye.
Stephanie?
Aye.
Travis?
Aye.
All right. Resolution 11-2018, approval of code of conduct for grant funds.
The next four items are all required resolutions that we have to pass in order to receive and use the grant. So these are all drafted by ECOG and presented to me, and I just changed them to fit our resolution form. So the next four are all to do with that grant.
Do you have a motion?
So moved.
Moved by Stephanie, second.
Second.
Second by John. Doug, aye. John?
Aye.
Stephanie?
Aye.
Travis?
Aye.
Resolution 12-2018, approval of procurement policy for grant funds. Do I have a motion?
To approve.
Second.
First by Stephanie, second by Travis. Doug, aye. John?
Aye.
Stephanie?
Aye.
Travis?
Aye.
Resolution 13-2018, approval of residential anti-displacement and relocation assistance plan for grant funds.
Move to approve.
Moved by Stephanie,
Second.
second by John. Travis?
Aye.
Stephanie?
Aye.
John?
Aye.
Doug? Resolution 14-2018, approval of signature authorizing for grant funds.
Move to approve.
First by Travis,
Second.
second by Stephanie. Doug, aye. John?
Aye.
Stephanie?
Aye.
Travis?
Aye.
Resolution 15-2018, appointment of the Board of Adjustments.
Bart Schroeder, who was present at our last Board of Adjustment meeting, contacted me and applied to be on the board, so I would recommend appointing him.
Move to approve.
First by John,
Second.
second by Stephanie. Travis?
Aye.
Stephanie?
Aye.
John?
Aye.
Doug, aye.
And we do still have one opening on the Board of Adjustment if anybody out there is interested.
Public hearing regarding fiscal year 19 budget. We do,
You need a motion to go into public hearing? Make a motion to go into public hearing.
first,
Second.
second by John. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
All right. Anybody want to talk about it?
We did not have any changes from the last time we talked, so unless anybody in the,
And the taxes go down slightly?
quite a bit. So we went down to 11.44085.
11.44.
085.
All right. Need a motion to go to public hearing?
So moved.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Resolution 16-2018, approving fiscal year 19 budget.
Move to approve.
First,
Second.
second by John. Doug, aye. John?
Aye.
Travis?
Aye.
Stephanie?
Aye.
I got you guys there, didn't I? Resolution 17-2018, appointment to tree board and library board.
It will only be appointment to tree board. The library board did not meet last week. They are actually meeting tonight, same time we are. So if they approve someone for appointment tonight at their meeting, then it'll be on our next agenda. So tonight we'll just be approving the tree board.
Who are we approving?
Mary Ann Zorick.
Just the same as it?
Robert Zorick, Travis Begbie, Levon Bova, and Greg Bova.
I didn't know if we were
Move to
adding somebody.
No, actually, their terms were all up when we did the last appointments, and I didn't have them on there, so we're doing it separately.
First by John,
Second.
second by Stephanie. Travis,
Aye.
Stephanie,
Aye.
John,
Aye.
Doug, aye. New business, discussion on ordinance 165.18 Highway Commercial District and possible setting of public hearing.
We talked about this at the last meeting, and you guys asked me to go ahead and draft up an ordinance change and go through Mark. So I did that. I had a telephone meeting with Mark, and he made a few changes, and we came up with the wording that was in the, highlighted in yellow in the copy that I gave you. So we can change that, leave it as it is, or add to it, whatever you guys feel comfortable. And it would require us to set a public hearing, and then the public hearing, we could pass the first reading if we came to an agreement at that time.
Do you know what it says, Tom, that we added to it?
No, I don't.
And I did talk with Tom after the meeting and let him know what we were doing.
I think that does make it so it's people that have an existing building aren't penalized by what the rules were back when the building was built. So I don't see it causing any problems.
Any new would have to abide by the current.
Yep, and that's stated in there.
All right.
Mark and I made sure we put that in there.
I don't have a problem with that.
I don't either.
Okay, so we need to set a public hearing for probably March 26.
Let me make sure I can get it in the paper. See, it won't go in this week, it'll go in next week, so yeah, we should be fine.
Set that, and what, we do the first reading, and can we go right to the third?
We can do the first reading after the public hearing, and we can waive if you choose to.
Okay. Well, I mean, when do you want to start getting, do you want to start right now?
No, I'm not in any future. I just want to know, first off, I need to plan it, and I want to lay it out and figure out what I'm going to do. And then obviously talk to, is it Mike I'm going to have to talk with? Make sure that's all done, and then get the permits and...
Because we set the public hearing for the 26th. If we just do the first reading the 26th, you won't have the second and third reading until April 9th, if we do it that way.
Yeah.
I didn't know if you were in a hurry or...
No, I'm not in any future.
Okay.
I want to do it before winter.
Okay.
Yeah.
And you're not doing it in canary yellow, right?
We're kind of thinking bright orange, maybe, like your shirt, something like that. John, what's your favorite color? You looking at it?
Mine actually is yellow.
No, it's not. It'll probably be a grayish color, two-tone gray or something, the bottom wainscot or whatever. I don't know yet.
Do we need a vote to set the...
Yeah. Was that a motion to set the public hearing,
Yeah.
Doug, by you?
So moved.
I'll second.
Second.
Okay.
All right. All in favor?
Aye.
Correspondence?
I didn't have any correspondence today.
Okay, city engineer report.
City engineer and the public works director are both on spring break.
Anything
Lucky.
from them?
Yep, I'll cover in mine.
All right, police chief's report.
Also on spring break, but I will be here.
Oh, I thought we maybe made you police chief.
Yeah.
Thank you.
By the way, in that building, I'm going to have an overhead door facing the highway that Amy will be able to back right in and be able to go by.
Revenue.
I had a little bit more, more stuff to the lot here in the last week. So
I know.
she's a little less big sitting in there.
You gonna charge us rent?
Tell them they're all on spring break this week.
I did do their graduation last Thursday. The my first fifth grade class at the Lisbon School. So that went off without a hitch and had a good time.
I heard a couple, 3 or 4 family members say how good of a job you did. They told me that they're really impressed with you, so congratulations, good work. Keep it up. Is that all you got?
That's it.
We paid you overtime for this? City Administrator's report?
I've just got a couple things to talk to you about tonight that didn't get on the agenda because the information pretty much came today. The first one is, we had talked to you guys about the dump truck, and unfortunately, the next morning when we went to talk to the company that had that used truck, it had already sold. So it seems like the last 3 that we've sought after before we can come to a conclusion or an agreement, they're sold. So I went ahead and went through with that grant process that I had told you about. So what you see in front of you here is what the state bid for a new dump truck would be. And that would be including the chassis, adding the dump to it, the gate, plow, and all the fixtures that go with it. So as you can see, they're not cheap, but you can also see where we get the state bid discounts. And all most of the dealerships work with the state and offer us the state discount, so it wouldn't matter where we went, the state discount would be the same at each dealership. So I will probably find out in 2 weeks maybe if we got the grant. The grant, as you can see, I wrote on the second page, the grant would be approximately 35%, which would be around $32,564. We have $32,800 in our capital improvement fund, so if we did get the grant and were able to purchase a new truck, we would still have to come up with $27,676. So I just wanted to update you guys on that. If we do decide for some reason we get the grant and we don't want to go through with buying the new truck, we can always decline the grant, but I wanted to try for it anyway.
I have a question. In this one, we have to get rid of our old truck too, right? We lose that automatically.
Yep.
And then, I mean, can we do something so like, can we make some kind of a ruling or something so that if Travis finds one, he doesn't have to come back to council for approval, like he has approval to spend up to X amount of dollars, so that we don't run into that, like where he keeps coming back and it's too late?
Yeah, with the one we were looking at, though, we wanted to actually bring it here and have someone look at it for us, but it went like that.
Right. But I'm just saying, I know that he waited to come to the council and see which direction we wanted to go. Like if we gave him approval to spend up to da-da-da-da-da, and he found something in that range where he could just go start looking at it and not have to wait for another council meeting.
He's been continuing to look on, there's a government website that he can go and look on, so he's been watching that as much as possible, and that's where we found most of the other ones, except for the one in Hiawatha. So, yeah, that's something we could do.
Okay.
It's just hard to, I mean, they're so different, it's not... But I didn't
think we would
want
all
to lose
trust Travis's judgment on, he would know better than any of us what we need and whether or not what he was looking at would suit that.
Yeah, the last one we were looking at was $55,000, but it had the whole package on it, everything on it.
No, this is pretty much everything on it except for the wing plow.
It wouldn't have a wing plow, The only thing with the other one, we could keep parts off of it, or maybe we could, use the steel or metal and get money off of that or whatever, but the engine we have to actually drill a hole in the engine and put that out of. So it's the engine that they're looking at has to go out of service.
Does that go, or can we sell it?
No, it has to, we'd have to actually take it out of service.
They want it off the road because
Yep.
of
Because of the
pollution.
Emissions, and believe me, this grant,
But
I
so
learned
if
everything I could
I'm,
possibly learn about emissions.
if I'm looking at this right, I mean, with the grant, we would only be spending like $55,000 anyway.
Right.
And the only thing we wouldn't have is that side plow, which would be
Yeah.
another $15,000, and this would be a brand new vehicle.
Yeah, and Travis is really not sure how much we'd use it would be nice to have a wing plow, but we'd probably only use it on Highway 30 once we took that over.
And that's a few years out yet, so,
Yeah, that project's actually kind of
So is this
stalled.
something that we could add down the road?
yeah.
I don't know if we could or not.
I bet
this-
you could.
I could,
I think so.
you would think, I don't know for sure, so. That would be a
Because-
question for Travis.
If we buy a used one for 55,000 and we get a grant and can buy a brand new one for 55,000,
Well, you're better off, I think you're better off buying a brand new one to begin with. I mean, it's brand new. I mean, you know, you buy a used one, they might say, yeah, we didn't beat it. Well, they beat it. I mean, it's like
well, I
buying
mean,
any
it'd be
used
different if it was a significant savings, you know, if you were saving 50,000, but you're really not if you get the grant.
I mean, the bad
All we'd
thing-
really be losing is the old truck.
we lose in the dump truck. But I mean,
Which is
and
on
that's
its
something.
last leg anyway.
But that's something, but Travis can look at, if the dump truck's good, and, I mean, mechanically or body-wise, I mean, putting a new engine in it, I mean, you know, if you can put a new engine in for $5,000 or $6,000 and you got a good dump truck, no?
Yeah, I think a lot of that dump
Ken?
truck is rusting out because we put,
Sand in it.
you know, we've been,
Probably 15 to 18,000 for a new motor, for a truck that big.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking.
yeah, and it would have to be a motor that met today's standards, emission standards. Because that's the main reason they're giving us that I could apply for the grant is because it fell under the old standards, but.
We haven't always had the best of luck with used.
Agree with you 100%.
And that's one nice thing. And plus you got the guarantee with the new one.
Well, I think when we talked about it at the last meeting, it was we could go get a new one for 100 and some thousand, or we could look at this used one for 55, and that was a big difference. But looking at these numbers, it's really not that big of a difference.
Yeah, because like I said, they gave us the state bid discount plus a
Yeah.
fleet discount. So
we just wait a couple weeks to see if you get a grant?
I believe I'll hear from the grant before the next council meeting, so then we can make a final decision, but it does take quite a while to get, once we order this truck, they said it could be August or September before it even comes in. So the other one would, knock on wood, last that long. So, all right, the other thing I wanted to discuss with you is, we did a walkthrough with the school, which was part of the agreement that we did. There is quite a few problems with the fencing over at the park. One of the things that the school would like to do, which we don't have in the budget, and I don't honestly consider it maintenance, was to add fencing to fence the whole park in, so when they charged admission, nobody could get in on other parts. But I did go ahead and get a bid for it, just in case. But the main problems are on Bunning Field and Diamond 1, as you can see on the quote that I gave you here. To do all the repairs that need to be done on Bunting Field would be around $4,500. And then for Field 1, which is the one closest to the road, would be $955. The other quotes would be stuff that would just be a wish list, not really a needs list. They would only guarantee this price for 10 days because, again, nobody knows what the price of steel is going to do, and they're all afraid it's going to go up. So he said he would only hold this bid for 10 days. So that's why I wanted to bring it to, I just got it today, but I met with them last week. So the other thing that I'm doing over at the park, we installed air dryers in the bathrooms at the city park itself. And since we've done that, we have had no problems with toilets being clogged, vandalism and all that. So I would like to do that at the other two concession stands. We've talked to an electrician who did the other park, and to do it probably will cost about $1,000 each facility to do that. So I wanted to use some of that money to do that. But then as far as this fencing, if we did do something, if we did do these repairs, we would have to make sure that the school knew that it's going to be a couple more years before we did anything like this, because the maintenance money that we're getting from them is supposed to be used for, a lot of it's supposed to be used for the grounds and, rolling the fields, weed eating, fertilizing, and all that kind of stuff. So I wanted to bring this to you guys. They had requested some of this stuff to be done, and I told them I would check into it, but it would ultimately be your decision, because we did specify in the agreement that $5,000 that we get for maintenance each year we would get to determine how it was spent. But there are a lot of areas of the fence where the bottom is curling up, so it's kind of dangerous.
And that's what you're repairing?
Some of the areas, they can't straighten it and tie it back down. It's too far gone, so it has to be replaced.
And that's what this $4,500 is
Yes,
for.
that's why it's a lot more than the 950. The field one, a lot of that can be fixed, but I don't think anything's been done to the fence on Diamond 3 for many, many years. Diamond 2, the boys' baseball field looked good. There wasn't much to do there. And Diamond 4 was still in pretty good shape.
They want to replace 20 feet on the backstop. They don't even use that field up there.
On which one?
Like on field 1, on the backstop, so.
Yeah. Well, no, we do though. The city
The
does.
city does.
The town teams and stuff use that.
But I'm just saying it's,
This is, we saw everything that was wrong, and this is the max bid, so we don't have to do everything. I just had him give us a quote on everything that needed to.
The school's wish list is the section in the middle.
And I'm not sure exactly where they wanted to take the new fence, but the only estimate I got was on the south side, which is where Junction Auto's parking lot is, because people come down those hills, kids come down those hills. So that would have been taking the fence that's right behind the high school boys' dugout, clear over to Bunting, so no one could get through there. And I did talk to Dwayne, and he's getting ready to move that old trailer and stuff out of there, and he told me that he has a lot of trouble with kids playing in his property when they're supposed to be at the ball games. So, but that's something that does not have to be done. I mean, that's not, I don't consider that in a maintenance agreement, because the agreement does say that it says repairs to current property and equipment, as well as ground maintenance and other routine. So it doesn't say that we have to add new stuff in our agreement. We didn't agree to any of that. We agreed to maintain the existing. What's there. So, but I know we do have the outside, some fence that we could put up temporarily or something if they wanted to. I know at the state games they have to charge admission and that kind of stuff, but so they just have to have more people man the holes in the areas where people can come in.
I guess that's up to them.
what, like, man, where they come, they can put up a snow fence to keep people out.
Yeah, and that's what Travis told them. We had snow fence available if they needed to use that.
Not do that.
You mean
during
for
the
like just the state tournament or like all summer?
For like the summer, if they're trying to charge admission, there's a lot of places that you go to, it's just got snow fence up that they take that yellow fence or orange fence and they take it back down after the season's over with.
Sounds a lot cheaper.
Well, I don't.
Well, we don't have money in the budget.
I think that's their problem.
I agree with you 100%. I don't think that's our problem.
Now, the only
If they
thing
want to
I
have
was,
more people stand there, if they want to put up snow fence, whatever, but that's not our problem. But I do think that we should repair what is our problem. What do you think?
I agree. I don't think that we should be doing the work for them as far as, because they have to charge admission. We're not going to fence in our park. That's just foolish. But yeah, we have to replace some fence. Then we need to replace some fence. There's no way around it. I wouldn't want a kid to slide into that and cut a leg open or something. Now, that's what we're talking about.
so go ahead with the
So you're talking about 4510 and then 955?
955.
And then what is this 1440 or this 1145? That's something.
The 200 and the 1145, there is a section of fence that, if you go down the first baseline on Bunning Field, and then right at the edge of the parking lot, there's another fence that kind of separates there's the the diamond fence, and then there's a pitching lane, and then there's a fence there that separates the parking lot. So it kind of protects some of the cars that are there, that are parked there. To replace that whole section of fence, it would be 1145. If we just had them cut down the poles and attach the fence to it, he said add another 200. So that fence looks bad. It's probably one of the older sections because most of Bunnings Field is the black fence. This is still a galvanized fence. So it's that section right there that kind of protects those cars that are parked right there on the first baseline.
You guys want to do?
Well, I'm personally for the 4510 and the 955. I mean, what's your opinion on the 200? I mean, I guess if we're gonna have them out here and do it, I don't know, but.
It'd be cheaper to do it while they're there.
$200.
It's an eyesore, to be honest
Yeah.
with you. It's,
But would the 200 be okay, or do you think you need the whole thing replaced?
no, I think we can just retie that off.
Yeah, I mean, for $200 if they're already out there.
Is that a motion?
I'll make a motion to approve those 3 things.
First by Stephanie. Second by me. Stephanie?
Aye.
Doug? Aye. John?
Aye.
Travis?
Can we do this even though it wasn't on the agenda?
We can give her,
It's kind of you could kind of consider it an emergency situation since the price is only good for 10 days,
Okay.
is what I...
I just wanted to
Actually,
make sure. I didn't want to break no rules.
How much can you spend?
I can spend 5,000.
it'd be $605 over.
I mean, I agree it is.
Well, she can spend up to 5,000 before she has to come to our approval, so, I mean. Yeah, she can say, I spent 5,000, but now I need 605 more, so. I say get it done, order it and get it done.
Well, we gotta wait for Travis.
Right. Okay, Travis.
Aye.
All right.
Well, you never said. I guess you did. I'm
Yeah,
sorry.
no, I understand. I mean, I don't know if we can do it like you said, but
We can,
Well, we just did, so.
we can approve emergency
I mean,
situations.
I just wanted to make sure.
I mean, you can spend up to 5,000. I mean, if we did something wrong, come back to us and get the $605.
Okay.
Anything else?
That's all I had.
Mayor's report.
How is the mayor?
She's still at the nursing home. We're looking to bring her home Thursday. And just time. She's doing good. She don't like it out there. She's the youngest one out there, and people don't remember her from day to day, and that's all right. Council reports. Travis.
I don't have anything today.
Steph.
I don't have anything either.
John.
Friends of the Lisbon Library is putting on their trivia contest Saturday the 17th, so there's still openings. We have a maximum of 12 teams we can handle. Prices are still the same as last 3 years, $80 per team of up to 8 people. And so if you want to participate, either just show up on that day and take your chances, or call the library and reserve a spot. And the countertops are in place now at Southeast Lynn Kitchen. I think we ought to consider having the whole council go to some of the city buildings and see the improvements that have been made. It's quite a difference in the kitchen at Southeast Lynn. I've never been in the new building we bought on East Market, so see what the rest of you think, whether we need to make individual appointments or just set a time before a council meeting, maybe to walk through, and that would be my suggestion.
Let's do that one, it's nice.
Yeah, well, it's nice. We're gonna be coming into nice weather here pretty
Let's hope.
soon.
Let's hope.
And speaking of that, we scheduled to do our joint meeting with the school April 2nd here at the City Hall. Is that still a good date for everyone? We set that at the last meeting in, was it October?
Yeah, I think I'm all right.
It would be the first Monday of the month. And we usually have them at 6 o'clock, and it's our turn to host, so it would be here.
Do you know when the big item pickup is? That date works for me, but.
It's in June. It's usually it's the Saturday after the garage sale. So it's probably in your newsletter. I think Christina put all that in the newsletter. Maybe not.
Did I get a newsletter recently?
Everybody should.
Should have.
And then P&Z does meet this Thursday night, and they'll probably have some items that they want to make recommendations to the council on. And I feel that when they do that, we should probably have a joint meeting with P&Z to discuss, so they can give you guys input on where they came up with the decisions, because it's the mobile home ordinance and the future land use plan. So I recommend that we had a joint meeting first, and then you guys can take their recommendations and make your own decisions. And I wasn't sure if you guys wanted to have 4 meetings in April, or if you would like to meet with the school on the 2nd for, it usually takes us about an hour or so, and then meet with P&Z after, or would you like to have 2 separate meetings?
You mean have both of them in the same night?
The school and the P&Z one. I don't have a problem with that. I mean, like you said, we're usually done by 7:15. I mean, it's usually quick meetings. And I don't know. Are you going to get with Pat to set the agenda? Okay, because I don't have any idea what the hell you talk about.
So then we would have meetings on the
Devin, on the 2nd.
2nd.
Yeah, our school meeting should be really short, because most of the stuff we make decisions on, we did at the last meeting, so this will be just other things. So we could,
I'm just gone that last week in April until May 2nd.
well, this would be April 2nd.
Yeah, so I'm just saying it'd be better probably to have it then than try to spread it out through the month, because
Have them both. Does that work for you, John?
Yeah.
Have them both on the same night?
Do it, set that for like 7:30 that night.
Okay.
Talk to
that'll make
Most of it'll be, most of it'll be regarding the future land use plan.
And then you're going to earn your money. Anything else, John?
Nothing.
Anything else, Connie?
Nope.
I don't have anything, so meeting adjourned.
Thank you.